Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here, and welcome to another video. I did talk a little bit about this video in the last weekly report, the Sonic Adventure DE. I believe it was part 9, week 4. I believe I talked about it. It's the one just gone this week as this goes up. So as of right now, it is currently Tuesday when I'm recording this, and this should be going up on Saturday, assuming we don't need to do any further tweaks in the coming week. But either way, in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the new thumbnail border. Now, if I quickly move to my presentations here. So, if you remember, in the last couple of videos, you've been seeing this new background in this kind of presentation here, and I'm finally going to be talking about that. I'm finally going to be addressing that. I did say I was going to, and we're finally there now. So I'm finally going to be addressing this new background that you've been seeing for the last couple of videos, but I've not been saying anything about. So let's quickly begin the presentation here. Now, actually, did I remember to turn off my mouse cursor? Yes, I did. Okay, never mind. Okay, so anyway, right. I know I did a video like this not too long ago. As obviously this thumbnail might look very, very familiar to you. Very, very familiar, because I did a video like this not too long ago, where I mentioned I was changing the thumbnail presentations, and we're doing that again. I've changed the thumbnail layout again, and in this video I'm going to explain why, because the last thumbnail layout was okay, like there's nothing wrong with it inherently, but I'll talk more about that in this video here. So let's just jump right in, shall we? And I'll explain more about that and why we change it as we go. And I'm not even gonna bother talking about the hyperdimension Neptunia inspirations which is what inspired all the thumbnail layouts in the first place, and why I chose particular colors for particular systems. If you want to know more about that, go and watch the last video. I don't plan on removing it, so if you want to go and watch that, go ahead and do so, as that'll help. As I definitely talk about what inspired the Let's Plays and what inspired the particular colors and all that. So again, if you want to know more about the inspiration for all the border colors in the first place, go and watch that video. It's basically the same video that had this kind of thumbnail layout, this kind of thumbnail. There's literally only a little bit of change between it, so go and check it out. I think it was new thumbnail layout 3.0. This is 4.0, so go and watch the 3.0 one if you want more on that. Anyway, moving on. So, for a while now, for the longest time, a lot of my videos and thumbnails and just a lot of stuff on the channel have been using this kind of background for a while, which is basically just a typical binary background that I just took off the internet and messed with a little bit to make different variations. It's literally, I think the original one was a little darker than this, so I think I lightened it up and then made different variants for different platforms and different stuff like that. So that's literally what that is. It's literally just a typical binary texture that I've taken off the internet and made my own variations of. And obviously that's not the best thing to do. Obviously, you know, copyright, plagiarism, all that kind of stuff. I haven't had any issues yet, so I'm going to assume that this particular one I just got lucky and picked a royalty-free one anyway. That's why I'm assuming that's why I've not had any issues yet. But again, plagiarism and copyright is a big issue, and it's one that I don't want, like, even though I've not had any issues yet, I don't want to take that risk. So yeah, that's kind of why I've changed it. And if you remember, a couple videos ago, a couple videos ago now, I think it was, if you remember, I've got a new thumbnail, I've got a new intro and outro sequence with a new binary kind of texture. I think it looks really nice. I think it fits the theme of what I want. And made in Minecraft, by the way. And basically, in doing that, I have basically done this. I literally did the same thing I did to make that tunnel and just made a wall of blue concrete and glowstone and just took a screenshot of it and then just basically resized it to match this kind of size, and that's basically what I've done. So in doing that, I have basically made my own original binary texture, and I know this is going to be a long and painful process. God, I can already tell how much of a nuisance this is going to be, but I've done it before. So basically what I'm going to do is, it's going to take me a while and it's going to be frustrating at times, but basically what I'm going to do is I am going to have to go through all my channel of what I can change. I can't obviously do anything about videos already on there, but what I can do is go and change literally every texture that uses the current, basically I'm just going to go around changing everything on the channel that uses the old texture and replace it with the new one. So that means thumbnails, channel layouts, and anything else that uses anything on the channel or anything that I use uses the old one. I'm just going to replace it with this new border because again it's one I know that I made myself, so I can't get plagiarized for it. I can't get copyrighted for it because it's my own texture that I have, that I legally have the rights to, because the textures and the actual background is on my computer and it's nowhere else. There may be one similar to it, but they don't have this exact one. So I know for a fact that this one is original, completely original. Again, there may be similar ones to it, but not this exact one. So I'm basically going to use that as the new one. So I'm going to, again, I know it's going to be painful, but I'm going to go throughout the channel replacing every single thumbnail and anything that uses that old binary texture with this one. And firstly, before we begin, I suppose a little bit of housekeeping here, I guess. I purposely made these three layouts. I made these three. I purposely made these. I purposely tried to make these different shades, and so it's easy to tell the difference between. So there's the original background, there's the non-Let's Play thumbnails, and the PC thumbnails. I deliberately went out my way to try and make these as easy to tell the difference between straight off the bat as possible, because frankly it was kind of annoying me a little bit how whenever I was using this kind of presentation for certain things, it was annoying me whenever I had a non-Let's Play thumbnail kind of border up against because in case you guys didn't know, the non-Let's Play thumbnail border uses the exact same texture as the general background, and it was kind of annoying me of how they were blending in together. I know certain textures on here are going to blend together anyway, for example, such as this one. I know this one's going to blend together with that since it's the same texture anyway. But the point is, it was just really annoying me of how certain textures were blending in with the background, mainly the Let's Play, mainly the non-thumbnail Let's Play thumbnails. So I purposely wanted to make the difference that apparent. So if you look at the top is the original background, which is, again, it's the original one with no tweaks at all other than resizing, just to match the whole thing. So as you can see, this got the dark blue for the background, like in the intro sequence, and then there's the slightly lighter blue binary, and then we go to the non-Let's Play one, which is generally a more cyan theme with a slightly darker shade of cyan for the blue concrete, and then the binary is a slightly lighter shade of cyan. I went with that because, well, I'll talk more about that in a bit. And then there's the PC Let's Play one, which is a deep, dark, royal blue overall theme. Like, again, slightly lighter for the binary, but still the same kind of shade. Very, very similar. But anyway, I deliberately tried to make these three as easy to tell the difference straight off the bat, just because it was annoying me of how the Let's Play thumbnail was blending in with the background. And again, that's also because they were using the exact same texture. So I made the non-Let's Play thumbnails more cyan, and I obviously, well, you'll see what I mean. I'm sure it'll make more sense as we go. But anyway, I've talked enough about that, so let's keep moving on here. Okay, so right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of the thumbnail, all the different thumbnail layouts and stuff, showing you the old variant and the new variant, and just talking about the general differences, if any at all. Some of them might be some of them might be noticeable, some of them might be very, very subtle. Some of them might just be a texture change, and that's it. But yeah, so this is the non-Let's Play one. This is the generic normal thumbnail that's not associated with Let's Plays at all. This is the old one. As you can see, again, this is literally just the original texture that I used for everything, and just use that for the generic one. So that's the old one. This is the new one. As you can see, I gave it a more cyan kind of coating, just because, again, I used that background. I used this background way, way too much, and I thought using a slightly more cyan variant would make. I just thought it made sense using more cyan, and especially since my avatar doesn't use cyan anymore, apart from maybe my hairband, I thought that would be a nice little wink to my original sprites as well. So anyway, moving on. Xbox. So this is the old one, and this is the new one. So as you can see, a slightly darker shade of green for the general texture, and a slightly lighter shade of green for the line between the line here, the line going across to my emblem. So yeah, there's a bit of a difference here. Obviously, slightly darker main palette here, and then obviously much lighter shade for the line. Again, I tried my best not to change the emblem. I tried not to change the emblem plate because that was perfect, and I was pretty happy with how that turned out anyway. So I didn't touch any of that. The only thing I touched was the general border and the line going between the emblem plate and the rest of the texture. So I purposely left the emblem plate as it was because I was pretty happy with them anyway. So again, that's the old one, and that's the new one. Pretty happy with how that turned out. I think it looks quite nice, and I think it's fitting. I think it's appropriate for what I want. Okay. Next up is the PlayStation one. So this is the old one, and this is the new one. So I think there's a bit of reverse here, because if you notice on the old one, it's a much lighter shade of black, whereas if you see here, it's a much darker shade of black, and I think it works. I think it works for what I need. And again, I didn't change the I didn't change the template for the I didn't change the emblem panel at all. But I did change the line, again, straight up black here, and then I changed to a slightly lighter shade of grey. And I think that works. I think that works well for what I need. Again, I just think it works. I'm pretty happy with how all of these turned out. I don't have any complaints with any of them. I'm pretty happy how they turned out. Again, similar shade, but some of them slightly lighter, slightly darker. It's not too big of a difference, really. But yeah, pretty happy with that one as well. Okay, Nintendo. This is the old, and this is the new. Now, I think out of all of them, I think this is the one where the main colour shading has changed probably the least. I think it's a very, very similar colour palette here. And I think literally the only thing that's changed is the binary texture. And I think that's it. Or if not, it's a very, very similar shading. I think the binary looks a bit different just because obviously it's a bit more in your face, I think. But I definitely think it still looks good. And I did try it with the number plate, and it doesn't blend in too much either. I can't show you here, but just you don't have to take my word for it. And again, I don't even think I changed the line going between the emblem panel either. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any difference at least. But again, out of all of them, I think this is probably the one that changed the least, apart from obviously the texture. Okay, and here is the PC one, which again I already showed a little bit earlier. So here's the old one, and here's the new one. So again, I changed the line going between the emblem kind of plate to a much lighter shade of blue. And again, I think a slightly darker shade of blue for the general template, which again, that just kind of goes well with what that general theme is anyway, and I think it works well. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, as per usual. Again, not much really else to say. Other than I'm pretty happy with how it looks, and this is basically what all the thumbnails are going to look from now on. And I know it's going to be painful, because it means now I'm going to have to remake all the thumbnails. I'm going to have to go back through my entire channel and just basically redo all the thumbnails with this new banner. I've done it before. This isn't the first time I've done it, so it's not my first rodeo. I have done it before, but it's going to be a longer process, because obviously back then there was only, I think there was only a couple hundred. I think there's maybe I think there wasn't as many thumbnails back then when I did it before, but obviously there's a lot more now, and obviously growing by the minute. So it will take me a while. It might take me a few nights, maybe a few all-nighters, but I will get through it eventually, I'm pretty sure. But I have done it before. But again, I'm pretty happy with the new one. And of course, that means that's not the only thing that's changed, because if you see here, if you look in the background, you can see my channel banner also uses that kind of template as well, which I have changed all of them too. And actually saying that, this is going to be a really night and day difference, because obviously my channel avatar has changed too. So I've changed all of that. So that's the old, and this is the new. As you can see, the difference here is night and day with my old, because obviously there's the old background, the old background, the old binary, and my old avatar, and there's the new. Old, new, old, new. I definitely think it works out. I definitely like the new banner. I think it definitely works, and I think obviously me sporting the longer hair now and the hair piece here, I definitely think that this new I definitely think the new avatar definitely works with how I look now. I definitely think it works, and again, I like having my hair longer now, so I definitely think it works. But again, I'm gonna have to change all of this, which I have already done. So here's the Pride Month one. Once again, different avatar, I've changed all of that, and that's actually the one I'm currently as this video goes out now, that's the one I'm currently using, because it's currently Pride Month. I'm recording this during Pride Month, so obviously that's the one we're using right now. So there's the old one. Again, I think it works. But obviously with the new one, I've started to put a bit more. I've started to put a little more attention on all that stuff now as well, because there's the old one. Again, the the channel name is pretty much the same as the old one, as you can see. But here's the new one. So old, new Pride Month. As you can see, I've even gone as far as actually changing the art style of the name of the channel name to match obviously the whole Pride theme, with the obviously the Pride, the Lucky Star Shi-Roku in the Pride colors, which, because I know I'm asexual particularly, but it's still within the Pride bracket. It's still LGBT, and obviously I want more representation. You'll notice that I've changed my hair color a lot, but I've left the whiskers kind of how they are. I've left them blue. But yeah, I've changed the my hair piece to pink, and you can't see it because my hands are in the way, but I've even changed my vest to pink as well, just because I've got nothing wrong with pink. Pink's a nice colour. There's nothing wrong with it at all. And as you can see, I put a bit more focus on the whole LGBT thing. So I've got my own ace flag on my cheeks, and obviously the ace flag on my fingers, and obviously I've put the ace ring on that side because I think the image will be mirrored. So I think so obviously from my perspective, the ace ring is on this finger, but I think from a mirror perspective it would be on this one, so that's why I put it there. I could be entirely wrong. It was kind of late when I made this, so I was a little tired and I couldn't think properly. But I've done that, and I think at least I'm hoping I did it right. And obviously I put the general LGBT flag on my head, with obviously the main LGBT flag representing all of the different factions of the LGBT. So I put the L in pink for lesbian, G in red because obviously that's the main. I think that was the main one for like the gay pride flag. So I put pink. So I put red for gay pride. I put a cross between pink and blue, kind of purple for bi, because obviously bi is where we swing both ways. For trans, I put both pink and blue, and I think that turned out quite well. Q, I wasn't too sure. The queer side of things is the one I'm the least knowledge in, so I just put black because I wasn't too familiar with the queer flag at all. So I just used black as that was the first color that was on there. And for the plus, I used ace purple for the plus because again, just because I think it works. And again, I put a bit more emphasis on the whole pride thing with the panel, with the background anyway. And I thought, I don't know, I didn't want to put too much more emphasis on ace pride either, because then it would seem a little much. So I wanted to keep it subtle. I've already put enough ace pride stuff there as it is, so I didn't want to make it too obvious. Otherwise it would kind of I just thought it would be a bit too much if I put any more emphasis. So I just put that as the ace pride kind of purple there. Okay, that's the old one. Pretty happy with all the characters I chose as well. So we got a nice selection of characters. We got Kanji from Persona 4, Undyne from Undertale. We got the main protagonist from Celeste. We got Erica from Catherine. We got May from Night in the Woods, and we got, I can't remember what that character's from. I can't remember their representation either, but they're from I believe they're from like Chrono Trigger, I think. But yeah, nice selection of characters. Pour a bit more focus on the whole LGBT thing. I might go and redo that again just because I think on certain layouts on certain devices, I think you can barely see my my plugs, so I might go and redo that for some of these. But again, I think it looks a lot better than, well, it definitely looks better than that. Definitely, like that one looks kind of lazy, Whereas this one looks like I've definitely put in the effort. Okay, so now we go on to the Halloween one. So again, I might change some of these just because, well, particularly the new one. I might change some of these just because I thought, I could definitely put a bit more work into it perhaps. But this is the old Halloween one, so that's the old one. And this is the new one. Once again, I kind of went with the whole theme that I'm cosplaying as a ghoul. Not so much playing as Koniki, because obviously I'm using my own hairstyle here. But I'm still making it a one-eyed ghoul, and that's why I left one eye normal and left the other eye as a Kokugan. That was a lot of fun to make as well. And obviously I changed my desktop to be black, as it kind of matches the whole. It's similar to what Koniki was wearing as well, and again changed the hairpiece to black as well. Again, the Kokugan was a lot of fun to do, and obviously I left my facial hair to be blue, just because it's my main colour. I gotta leave that as it is. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. So again, there's the old, there's the new, and for the name this time I used the same one I used for the Halloween specials. Even though I don't use them anymore, I'm still going to go back and do that because obviously I need to change all of the thumbnails, so I'm going to go back and do that as well. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, definitely happy with how that worked. Again, old, new, old, new. Could definitely do a bit of work on. I think maybe change the hue or saturation a bit more, because it looks a little bit. I don't know. It looks a bit bland. I think the whole background. Oh, and by the way, the actual image I used for the actual channel icon, I just used the vortex. I used the vortex effect for that one, and just because it looks good anyway with the I just thought it works. But anyway, that's the I might do a bit more work on some of these just because they look a bit lazy or whatever. But that's how they look for now at least. But yeah, that's the Halloween special. Okay, next up, Christmas. So this is the old one. Again, quite a bit of work there. It looks quite nice as it is, but obviously I've changed a few things. Once again, I've changed the art style of the main channel name to make it more Christmassy, and I think it works. And yep, literally all I've done there to myself is I literally had myself wear my normal white vest, and then I just went and got a transparent image of a Christmas sweater, and I just put that over myself. I didn't even want to do anything with my hair as well. Like I know before I made it white to look more like Santa's beard, but I didn't want to do that this time, just because the Santa hat's enough. The Santa hat and the Christmas top is enough to get it's enough to get the picture, I think. I didn't want to go too overboard. But again, I quite happy with how that turned out. Got quite a good selection of characters, because we got Shuichi and Kaede from Danganronpa V3. We got Hat Kid from A Hat in Time. We got Ruby from Ruby. We got the four main CPUs from Neptunia, and we got Yukiko and Joker from Persona, and all in Christmas variants, of course. Quite happy with how that turned out, and again, I'm quite happy with how the YouTube banner changed. Now, originally there wasn't actually a hyphen there, so I had to go and make a hyphen myself. That was the only difficult part. The rest of it, I think, has turned out quite nicely, I think. Again, I might go and change that a little bit, just to see if I can actually put the Shi-Roku underneath the Lucky Star, like I've done with, just because obviously with how that is now, I think you can barely see the channel plugs at all. So I want to see if I can do anything about that. But again, pretty happy with how it turned out. And again, it's got a similar kind of look to it. Might work a little bit on the saturation, but other than that, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy overall how that is now. And that's gonna about do it for this video. Now, once again, I know it's gonna be a painful process because again, I'm gonna have to go through the entire of my channel, all the thumbnails, looking for everything that uses that old binary background and change it to the new one. It's gonna be a pain. Could take me a few all-nighters, but I've done it before, so I'll get through it somehow. But anyway, that is gonna about do it for this video. Let me change back to my normal presentation. And yep, I finally talked about that, so that's what that whole banner was about. So anyway, that is going to about do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and well, with all that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good day, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, ring the notification bell, check the sub box, check the channel regularly, join my Discord server, and check out the links below.